lot of waste being generated, and despite having thousands of people working at the dump sites, they're still not able to cater for the waste that that we produce on a daily basis, even here in Nairobi. So I went to university with that idea of how can we incentivize people to sort waste at source. And myself studying software engineering, I came up with this idea of why don't we use the technology that is already available? Let's use IoT, let's use camera sensors so that you can identify, sort this waste where it's supposed to go, and even take it a step further and pay people for bringing that recyclable waste. Our accuracy at the moment is at 86% for electronic waste. We are at 90% for plastic waste. So when you bring a recyclable item to our bin, it's able to identify what you want to throw and even give you points that is equivalent to the recycling value of the item you're dropping.
The founder of the T-bin. So the T-bin is a smart, intelligent, solar-powered segregated waste bin that educates people on waste separation at source, and in the WEEE waste contest is, as Madam Tracy JZ was saying, we need to create more awareness on the e-waste space. We also are in the circular economy space where we train students and the community on circular economy activities, where in my capacity I'm representing Paragon Institute of Innovation as the Kenyan coordinator for those activities. It's a non-profit from the US. Yeah.
Being in this space now for 5 years, and then in the coastal city of Mombasa, with the blue economy obviously being a very thriving area of interest for many people, many citizens of the coastal counties, we really see such attraction thanks to the circular economy. There is so much, obviously, related to many other industries than only the blue ocean aspects, but like just to pop on something very recent, we're now engaged with the Mombasa Plastic Prize. You see there that almost 50 young entrepreneurs came up with circular economy innovative concepts, of which a couple of them have really been withheld as on the road map to investor readiness, with already some prize and award grant money in this stage, but with a clear indication to get access to seed capital to set it up as a business, set it up really with local employment. And this is just scratching the surface, because there are so many other inspirations from a circular point of view. Many of the panel members here have mentioned also the use of big data, of AI, of all the technology that is supporting us, and definitely the EPR legislation, I believe, is also going to create so much new models in this country around the world. And Kenya definitely as a leading economy, and the Silicon Savannah here in Nairobi, I really foresee that this is really going to be the next big thing, and it's onboarded already.
At the university, I'm actually in charge of the research ecosystem and the innovation ecosystem. So what we do in research, because the output of research is either a product, a service, or a policy. And that is what we need to encourage in all the projects that we do, what comes out. That said and done, I stopped to mention that Meru University is championing itself as a center of excellence for waste management. And already we have a clear stream of sanitation research. We have a sanitation research institute that runs full course, meaning that we go down to menstrual hygiene and fecal sludge, and we turn them to products. That is research. But we need to put policies that also actually check these. And we're trying to build a line for e-waste also, where we want to have, again, a complete line where we can actually train and we can research. There is a big problem of problematic fractions, for example. I hear everybody talking about plastic, turning it to the next level, but we also know there is the end of the second life. So what do we do with this? Coming back to what you're saying, Kenya is overregulated, and we don't have a shortage of policies. But I would put Kenya as akin to a metaphor. Kenyans are very famous for doing things the right things the wrong way. Kenyans are famous for doing the right things the wrong way.
Yeah.
So I think we just need to get it right from the start and actually implement the laws that are there to the letter. So to answer you and to contribute to this, I think I'm going to speak to three things that can actually help us from this perspective. One are the incentives that the government is supposed to give. Tax breaks, for example, so that it is very easy for us to have startups. I see the government is doing well. Yesterday we were at the Innovation Summit, and I think they're coming up with a startup bill. So we need the government to support innovation hubs. We need the government to support startups, come up with grants together with the donor agencies, where we can actually fund the startups, definitely for the tech solutions that can actually spur this growth. And lastly, as everyone has said, we need serious awareness, education and awareness. And laws that also can promote inclusivity. And I want to put a rider again. When we talk about inclusivity, we should be very, very careful. Equity and equality is very difficult to achieve. I'll give you an example like gender. Many of us confuse gender with sexism and feminism, and therefore we should address this. We look at the systems, we look at the sizes, and we look at the numbers. So whichever way it works, it is inclusivity, so that, again, we don't end up segregating the others. So my parting shot are, we need the government to help with the incentives, we need the government to help with the regulatory frameworks, and we need the government to help with education and awareness, specifically to promote absorption. Thank you.
And as the slogan say, waste is wealth. So what we are trying to do is to make sure that what we are calling waste, whether it is electronic waste, plastic waste, we can get value from that, what we are calling waste. So what we do is to build an ecosystem of different stakeholders, because we appreciate that we have diverse waste streams, and to treat it requires diverse industries. So we are working with different industries. Those are different recyclers who are recycling different waste streams. And at the bottom of the pyramid, we organize groups to collect. They will collect all the waste. Then we'll link them to the people who are going to come in to buy the waste that they are working together. We do a lot of capacity building. And our capacity building is from making money and also improving their social life. I remember in the morning somebody who was talking about the street boys, how they change their behavior so that they don't just see waste as an area where they are collecting waste. They are able to appreciate that they are cleaning the environment, and they're also able to make some money and also build an entrepreneurial culture so that they can be able to scale. So we work across different sectors. Then apart from that, then we have a digital platform that we have put together. And again, the digital platform, we are doing the same thing, that bringing together the different stakeholders, people with different digital apps, so that we are able to harness and centralize the data so that we can build more value of data that we have. With corporates, we are working with corporates and trying to build a culture of ESG reporting, because we believe with corporates, they have what then is called the Scope 3 reporting. We are able to work with them for their value chain so that we can build that culture of ESG reporting. Thank you.
I'm Keiran Smith. I'm co-founder and CEO from Mr. Green Africa. We are actually a fully integrated plastic recycling company that leverages technology, both software and hardware, to turn plastic waste into value. So now you might ask yourself, why am I here? And I think what we've done in the early days is really build a system based on two principles. Number one, we can include the informal market and enable them to be part of a much more formal system, enable them fair, transparent pricing, dignified transactions, and really truly link to a market, a stable market. And then the second thing we've done in the second principle is local value addition. It was also mentioned today, local value addition is extremely key because we can create local solutions and not have to create or depend on international solutions for that matter. And so these two things, if you think about it, need to be leveraged with technology. If we want to do it at scale, at speed, technology is extremely critical. And so software technology allows us to register the informal market, transact with them in real time, hopefully even pay them via mobile money to create traceability in the transaction. And then in the value addition side and part, leveraging Internet of Things, which also has been mentioned, in order to run machines efficiently and have a knowledge about these machines, link them into the web so that you have real-time knowledge about it. And then leveraging those two things allows us to create a more efficient, more equal, and more inclusive value chain.